80. One should must not.
어서는 안 되다, 무면 안 되다 소스, howtostudykorean.com.
Below is a list of vocabularies to be used in this lesson. Nouns.
선풍기,
Means electric fan.
도전,
Means challenge.
도전자,
Means challenger.
코피,
Means nosebleed.
주어,
Means a subject in a sentence.
장애,
Means obstacle barrier.
장애인,
Means disabled person.
정서,
Means emotion, feeling.
정서장애,
Means emotional disorder.
유아,
Means small little child toddler.
유아기,
Means early childhood period.
오염,
Means pollution.
고무,
Means rubber. Verbs.
참여하다,
Means to participate, to take part in.
없다,
Means to carry on one's back.
탓하다,
Means to blame.
저장하다,
Means to save, a file on a computer.
누락하다,
Means to omit.
거절하다,
Means to refuse, adverbs and other words.
수백,
Means hundreds of.
수천,
Means thousands of.
수만,
Means tens of thousands of.
기타,
Means and other, and so on. Introduction. In this lesson, you will learn about two similar grammatical principles and their similar, respective meanings. In this lesson, you will learn how to use
어서는 안 되다,
to mean one should not and
으면 안 되다,
to mean one must not. We will also look at the positive meaning of using,
으면 되다,
which is a very natural expression but usually one that foreign learners of Korean don't use right away. Let's get started. One should not.
어서는 안 되다,
In lesson 49, you learned how to apply
되다,
to many different types of sentences. In addition to the meanings introduced in lesson 9 and lesson 14, you learned that
되다,
can be used to indicate that there is no problem with something. For example,
사업이 잘 되고 있어요.
is your business going well?
여기서,
Wi-Fi.
가 잘 돼요.
The Wi-Fi here works well.
어제부터 선풍기가 안 됐어요.
The fan hasn't worked since yesterday. You also saw that this can be applied to sentences with
어도,
to indicate that there is no problem with an action being done. You might remember, the most common translation for these types of sentences was one may or one can. For example,
지금 문을 열어도 돼요.
you may open the door now.
제일 편리한 것을 선택해도 돼요.
You can choose the most convenient one.
그 파일을 저의 컴퓨터에 저장해도 돼요.
You can save that file on my computer. Attaching
어서는 안 되다.
to the end of a clause indicates that there will be a problem if the action is completed. This type of sentence is essentially the opposite of the type of sentence above. Now, instead of indicating that there will not be a problem, by just using
되다,
we are indicating that there will be a problem, by using
안 되다.
the typical English translation of this is usually one should not. For example,
밥을 많이 먹어서는 안 돼요.
you shouldn't eat a lot.
선생님을 무시해서는 안 돼요.
You shouldn't ignore your teacher.
장애인들을 놀려서는 안 돼요.
You shouldn't make fun of disabled people.
고무를 입에 넣어서는 안 돼요.
You shouldn't put rubber in your mouth.
그렇게 빨리 뛰어서는 안 돼요.
You shouldn't run that fast.
사람을 겉모습으로 평가해선 안 돼요.
You shouldn't judge somebody on their looks.
내 친구를 내 잘못에 대해 탓해서는 안 돼.
You shouldn't blame your friends for your own mistakes.
유아기의 아기들에게 우유를 줘서는 안 돼요.
During the early childhood period, you shouldn't give milk to babies.
새로운 도전을 그렇게 빨리 거절해서는 안 돼요.
You shouldn't refuse new challenges that quickly.
인터넷으로 동시에 수백 개의 물품을 사서는 안 돼요.
You shouldn't buy hundreds of items from the internet at the same time.
처음 만나는 사람을 첫인상으로 평가해서는 안 됩니다.
You shouldn't judge somebody you meet for the first time on their first impression.
아무 움직임 없이 1시간 동안 앉아서 컴퓨터를 해서는 안 돼요.
You shouldn't sit at a computer for an hour without any movement. Even though these sentences are used in the present tense, they are usually referring to actions that occurred in the past. unless somebody is just making a general statement that one should not do some action. For example, in the first example above,
그렇게 빨리 뛰어서는 안 돼요.
you shouldn't run that fast. Immediately before that sentence was said, somebody was probably running too fast, which caused somebody to say the sentence.
그렇게 빨리 뛰어서는 안 돼요.
This one is fairly straightforward. Let's move on to the next one. Full stop. Full stop. One must not.
으면 안 되다.
In lesson 43 you learned about
으면.
and how it can be used to mean if or when. For example,
내일 비바람이 오면 경기가 취소될 거예요.
if it rains tomorrow, the match game will be cancelled.
지금 환경을 보존하지 않으면 미래에 더 큰 문제가 생길 것 같아요.
If we don't preserve the environment, there will probably be bigger problems in the future.
오늘 그 사람을 만나면 낯선 사람으로 대할 거예요.
If I meet that person today, I'm going to treat him like a stranger. You can use
안 되다.
after
으면.
to indicate that there will be a problem when if a something occurs. For example,
그렇게 하면 안 돼요.
you must not do it like that. This meaning is very similar to the meaning learned above.
어서는 안 되다.
But I like to think that the meaning is slightly stronger when you use.
으면 안 되다.
Below are more examples.
그 정보를 누락하면 안 돼요.
You must not omit that information.
그 말을 영어로 하면 안 돼요.
You must not say that in English.
이 차에 디젤을 넣으면 안 됩니다.
You must not put diesel fuel in this car.
그런 말을 유아에게 하면 안 돼요.
You must not say that type of thing to a child.
현재 오염 문제를 무시하면 안 돼요.
You must not ignore the current pollution problem.
정서장애가 있는 친구들을 놀리면 안 돼요.
You must not pick on friends with emotional disabilities.
주어를 그 문장에서 그 위치에 쓰면 안 돼요.
You must not use the subject in that place in a that sentence.
으면 안 되다.
Is often used in the form of a question. When used as a question, one is asking if there will be a problem if the action before
으면.
occurs. It is possible to translate these types of sentences to English in many ways, which I have provided. For example,
이렇게 하면 안 돼요.
can't you do it like this equals are you able to do it like this equals is it okay if you do it like this equals will there be any problem if you do it like this?
더 빨리 하면 안 돼요.
Can't you do it faster equals are you able to do it faster equals is it okay if you do it faster equals will there be any problem if you do it faster?
조금 더 주면 안 돼요.
Can't you give me a little bit more equals are you able to give me a little bit more equals is it okay if you give me a little bit more equals will there be any problem if you give me a little bit more, comma. It is also possible to create a double negative with this type of question. For example, if you wanted to ask if you could eat now, you could say,
밥을 지금 먹으면 안 돼요.
can't we eat now equals are we able to eat now equals is it okay if we eat now equals will there be any problem if we eat now? However, by making the original action negative, the speaker can ask if it is alright if something is not done. For example,
밥을 지금 안 먹으면 안 돼요.
can we not eat now equals are we able to not eat now equals is it okay if we don't eat now equals will there be any problem if we don't eat now? Other examples.
그 대회를 참여하지 않으면 안 돼요.
Can we not participate in that event equals are we able to not participate in that event equals is it okay if we don't participate in that event equals will there be any problems if we don't participate in that event?
이번에 여행할 때 수천 장의 사진을 찍지 않으면 안 돼요.
Can you not take thousands of pictures this time when we travel equals are you able to not take thousands of pictures this time when we travel equals is it okay if you don't take thousands of pictures this time when we travel equals will there be any problem if you don't take thousands of pictures this time when we travel, comma. This form is actually a very polite way to ask for something to be done. As such, it is common for
주다.
Lesson 41. To be used with the question version of.
으면 안 되다.
For example,
밥을 사주시면 안 돼요.
are you able to buy me rice equals is it okay if you buy me rice?
교통카드를 충전해 주면 안 돼요.
Are you able to charge my subway card equals is it okay if you charge my subway card? If you ask somebody a question like this or any other question asking if something can be done, the answer that is typically given when it cannot be done is
안 돼요.
for example,
교통카드를 충전해 주면 안 돼요.
are you able to charge my subway card?
안 돼요.
No, I can't do it here, it won't work here. You can also use the form
으면 안 되다.
without
안,
to create a different meaning. I will talk about this next, suggesting that one should
으면 되다.
by adding
으면 되다.
to the end of a sentence or clause, you create a meaning that is very similar to
아어야 하다.
which you learned in lesson 46. This form has the meaning of you must or you should depending on the situation. For example,
서울역에서 내려야 돼요.
you must should get off at Seoul Station. Using
으면 되다.
creates a similar meaning. For example,
서울역에서 내리면 됩니다.
you should get off at Seoul Station. Here, the speaker is basically indicating that everything will be okay if you get off at Seoul Station, although the meaning is similar to
아어야 되다.
using
으면 되다.
is more of a suggestion. Because this is more of a suggestion, its meaning is very soft and is often used by people when they are asked for advice. For example, one time a woman asked my wife how to get to
사당.
station, to which my wife replied,
다음 역에서 내리면 돼요.
you can should get off at the next station equals there will be no problem. It will be okay if you get off at Seoul Station. A more natural translation could sometimes be one can. For example,
조금만 넣으면 돼요.
just put a little bit in.
조금 더 올라가면 돼요.
Just keep going up a little bit further.
코피를 휴지로 막으면 돼요.
You can block the nosebleed with a tissue.
소금을 얼마나 더 넣어야 돼요.
How much more salt should I put in?
아기가 피곤하면 업어주면 돼요.
If the baby is tired, you can carry him on your back. That's it for this lesson. For more info, please visit howtostudiokorean.com.